Okay, so Penny H saw my video on how to swap out a temperature sensor on a Chinese diesel heater. When you get that cold air, nothing else syndrome, that's what you need to do. And asked if I had how to swap out a glow plug, because it seems she likes my style of explaining. Well, flattery will get you everywhere, Miss H, so let's do it now, it's easy. Okay, so you're going to need obviously your glow plug if you're actually swapping out that. You can, and by the way, all this stuff is everywhere. It's eBay, AliExpress, Amazon, all that sort of places. You'll need some an atomizer. You can get a pack of 10 of these for about £3 or £4 off AliExpress. And I'll show you what that is on the step-by-step where it goes. But what you'll also need is a tool to get the glow plug out, which is basically a box spanner, 12mm box spanner, with a groove cut in it, and easy to make, but you could of course just buy one as I did off of AliExpress or wherever. Okay, so first we need to get the top off, very easy. So this port here, that's where the ambient to the cabin air or room air goes in. There's a grill on the end, cap. You just unscrew that, coarse thread, that comes off easy. This top half just then pulls away like so, revealing the guts of the machine, and there's your glow plug there. Okay, so first thing we need to do is to unplug the glow plug from the motherboard. You can trace the wires round. Now these heaters are all basically the same. They're a copy of the D series, the Spec D series, but the motherboards are very different. On one of my other heaters, the actual glow plug plugs in the other side, so just follow it round, and you need to unplug that white plug there. You can do it without removing the motherboard if you're reasonably nimble, but I'm just going to lift the motherboard out just to make it a bit easier and to show you what you can do it that way. And to do that, there's a fixing there. These vary. On this one it's a Torx. Just get it out of the way. And not to lose that. And then this here, you just squeeze, and you can see there's two plastic clips. So if you squeeze that, it just gently lifts out like so, and that makes it a little bit easier to then get your finger in there and unplug it like so. Okay, and we'll leave that just floating at the moment. Right, next job is to remove the rubber bung. If you're buying a new glow plug, this will come already on the wires. If you're putting the same one back in, be careful not to damage it because it does do a job. It's a little bit stiff, but you just work it out of its socket like so. There she comes. And then what you need to do is to hold in carefully on the wires, just slide it along so it's out of your way. Okay, be careful not to put any strain on here where the wires are actually soldered onto the glow plug. They're crimped as well, probably a bit more resilient than I'm making out. Slide that well out your way. Okay, now you take your special spanner, and this is the reason for the slot, because that now the wires have to go in that slot like so. Try not to block the camera here. So you could then put the glow plug, the spanner, that's English terminology, I think you call it a wrench in America, over the glow plug, and just make sure it's securely on there. Okay, so make sure it's well down securely on there. Right, now you can loosen it. This shouldn't need much of a squeeze, because it should be a gas seal, which is not something that's nipped and not over tight. Make sure that's firmly down there, and right, that's now loose. So now what I can hold on to the wire and turn it with my tool until it comes, so it's nice and loose, at which point I can just make it nice and easy. Here we go, and there is the glow plug there. You can see this one's in very good nick because it's not been used. This is just a project heater I've got in the garage. I've got a use for it later on. Right, let's put that aside. Alright, now I mentioned earlier on the atomizer, and there's a new one there. Basically all this is that your diesel pump spits the diesel or kerosene, whatever you're using, onto that with the glow plugs live, so it just atomizes and starts the ignition. Now if I just shine a torch down, you should be able to see it. Here we go. So that inner circle there, that silver inner circle, is in fact the atomizer. You've got to get that out. Now I've seen a technique on YouTube of from another diesel nerd. A good way to get this out allegedly is with a coach screw, and I've not done this before, so I'm going to have a go. So the idea is you drop your coach screw down. You've got to get one the right size, of course. So it's just enough, big enough for the bigger diameter to fit inside. And if you give it a couple of turns, it should be able to grip and pull it out. And lo and behold, it works. Okay. Now the reason it's worked, I think, is because this heater's not been used much. You can see that's almost like a new glow plug, atomizer in there. But what I would say is they're so cheap, if you end up damaging getting it out, because the one way to do it is just to get some snipe nose pliers in there, squeeze it and yank it out. It doesn't matter, they're cheap as chips. So first of all, I'm going to drop a new atomizer down. And quite simply, I just use a pair of snipe nose pliers. Okay, freezing the frame here, you can see the atomizer on the pliers there, and you can see there's three little dots, little indentations. They're the join points of the atomizer. When you drop this thing in, you want to have that away from on the opposite side of the little hole that you're going to see in a minute, which is actually the air combustion inlet hole, but it's got to be on the opposite side of the chamber to that hole. So just make a note of that. Drop it into the hole until it's self-gripping. Get my little finger down there and push it down till it's flush. There we go, perfect. So what you need to do now is to actually nudge that atomizer down, nudge it down, because it's got to go just below the little hole that you'll see later on, where the combustion air comes into the atomizer chamber. And I do that using the blunt end of an 8.5mm drill bit. So you just roll it down, and you just tap it down, take it very gentle. Yeah, you can feel it moving. Yeah, it's going down. Right. That is there. Now let me see if I can get the camera in to show you. Then what I'm going to do is put the glow plug back in place. Put it in, holding on the wires, try not to block the camera, Greg. Starting a couple of turns until it grips. Right. Now, so same as before but in reverse. Put the spanner, the box spanner over the top. Make sure it's nice and snug. There we go. Start turning it. Yeah, that's going in nicely. You know, don't you? You know when you got it turning. Guide the wires round so nothing's under stress. Right, it's getting tight now. Now you don't over tighten this. You do what my dear old dad say. You make a gas seal and you just nudge it so like that. Then we can slide the spanner out, holding onto the wires so there's no strain on the glow plug. Slide the rubber grommet back down again. Then work it back in. Try not to damage it. If you need a spatula, use something plastic that's not going to damage. Cut into there like so. Yeah, that's nicely in position. We can put the plug back into its position like so. So it fits firm. Tuck the wire down beside the body. This here will just clip in position as you push it back in. There you go. Then put the fastener back in. There we go. Finally. Right, let's get the body again. It's, of course, it's everything in reverse. Slides in there like that, so. Then the end cap screws on. Job's good and easy peasy, lemon squeezy.